They thought those wounds would be your grave. They didn't realize you weren't built for peace, comfort, or applause. You were built for pain. Sculpted in the dark, where no one clapped, where no hand reached out. You learned to bleed without screaming, to crawl without crying, to shatter without ever really breaking. What would have ended the average man became your origin story. They forget monsters like you don't die from flesh wounds. You evolve through them. You weren't raised in the light. You clawed your way out of a hole they buried you in, dragging broken bones and rage like armor. Every scar on you, that's not damage, that's your blueprint. A reminder of how many times you were supposed to die and didn't. While they were praying for a miracle, you became your own weapon. They see a survivor. But you know better. You became the storm that doesn't just survive, it erases everything that underestimated it. The world keeps asking why you're so hard, so cold, so unshakable. Because you were forged in situations meant to dismantle you. Pain wasn't a chapter, it was the whole damn book. But you kept turning the page. You didn't escape hell, you conquered it. You made it kneel. And now they want to know why nothing scares you. Because the worst already happened and it didn't win. They can throw their tricks, their traps, their knives in the dark. Let them. You don't flinch. You don't beg. You don't fold. You absorb, you grow. And when they think they've finally done it, when they think they've ended you, that's when the beast they tried to bury starts laughing. You weren't built to be safe. You were built to be unstoppable. Let the world keep swinging. You already walked through death and came back with a grin. Now you don't just survive, you dominate. Let them whisper about how you're too much, how you're cold, how you changed. Damn right you did. You had to. You outgrew softness because the world kept mistaking it for weakness. You learned to walk with a target on your back and a fire in your chest. They wanted a victim. They got a force of nature. You don't make excuses anymore, you make impact. Silent, brutal, undeniable impact. You didn't just overcome wounds, you turned them into warning signs. Every pain they inflicted became a piece of your armor. Every betrayal, every breakdown, every blow they thought would finish you, built you into something they can't define, can't predict, and definitely can't kill. They don't even realize they weren't fighting a man. They were provoking something ancient, something awakened, something done being nice. You became what the weak whisper about when they try to sleep at night. That presence, that pressure, that unkillable silence before everything falls apart. And now you walk into rooms with your head held high, not because you're arrogant, but because you earned every damn inch of that power. You bled for it. You were buried for it. You resurrected for it. They wanted to see you on your knees. Instead, they watched you rise taller, sharper, meaner. You're not here for applause. You're not here for validation. You're here to remind them some creatures weren't made to break. Some creatures adapt to destruction. And some were born in the fire just to burn everything that tried to burn them first. You overcame what should have killed you. Not because you had a choice, but because something inside you refused to die. That's not human. That's something else. That's legacy. That's dominance. That's you. They don't realize the real battle was never outside. It was always in you. And you won. Not once, not twice, but every damn day you got up with wounds still bleeding, breath still ragged, and soul still dragging its armor forward. That wasn't survival. That was a declaration: I'm still here, still dangerous, still becoming something they can't comprehend. You don't carry pain like baggage, you carry it like ammunition. Like a beast who remembers everything but lets nothing stop the hunt. You never needed saving. You needed silence, space, time, so you could become your own rescue. And when they finally circled back, curious, confused, terrified, they found someone else standing in your place. Not the broken one, not the soft-spoken casualty, but the one who learned to weaponize the suffering. You didn't just heal, you rebuilt with metal in your voice and thunder in your veins. The version they wanted to destroy was just the cocoon. This is the aftermath. Now look around, who's left? The liars, the cowards, the ones who ran when the blood spilled. They're spectators now. They watch from a distance because they know to stand near you now is to flirt with fire. You don't speak to prove yourself anymore. You move like a warning. You exist like a reckoning. And every time they see you smile, every time they see you standing, it guts them. Because deep down they know you were never just a survivor. You were the final level. The storm they hoped would pass. The nightmare that came back stronger, sharper, and smiling. They can't kill a beast that feeds off the pain. They can't destroy what's already conquered its own hell. You are the consequence, the proof, the fury dressed in calm. And now, you don't just walk through fire, you are the fire. They should have finished you when you were weak, when you were doubting, when you still had that flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, the world would show mercy. But they didn't. They played games. They pushed buttons. They watched you unravel, thinking the fall was permanent. What they didn't realize was that you were never unraveling, you were shedding. Stripping off the version of you that played nice, that forgave too quickly, that swallowed rage just to keep the peace. That version is dead now, and in its place stands the beast they accidentally built. You learned how to use the silence, how to thrive in isolation. While they celebrated your absence, you were training in it. They thought you disappeared, but really you were sharpening, studying every betrayal, memorizing every name. You stopped asking why and started preparing how. And when you came back, oh, it wasn't for revenge. It was for domination. Revenge is emotional. Domination is inevitable. You don't get even, you get ahead. You move differently now, with purpose, with control, with a stare that says, try me again. I dare you. They talk about healing like it's soft, but yours was forged in fury. You didn't light candles and journal through the pain. You stared into the abyss, clenched your teeth, and became something darker, stronger. Your healing didn't end in peace, it ended in power. And now they want to say you changed. No, you evolved into what they fear, into what they can't understand, into what they can't stop. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them spin their stories. The truth doesn't need defending when it walks like thunder. You overcame wounds that would have buried them all. But you rose not to inspire, not to explain, but to remind them. You are not one of them. You are the beast that survives what others beg to be rescued from. The storm that grew teeth, the silence that strikes. And from now on, you don't flinch, you finish. They thought pain would paralyze you. They thought suffering would silence you. But you were never built to fold. You were built to absorb damage and turn it into discipline. Built to carry weight most can't even name. Every time they tried to tear you down, you didn't fall, you fortified. The heartbreak hardened you. The loss focused you. The betrayal burned the softness out of your soul and left only the core. Iron-willed, stone-eyed, untouchable. You don't walk with a limp, you walk with memory. Every step reminds you who you are, what you've faced, what you've endured while smiling through gritted teeth. You don't need revenge on the people who doubted you. Their punishment is watching you thrive, watching you become the very thing they said you never could. You don't throw punches anymore. You throw results. You throw silence. You throw that cold, calculated energy that says, I already won. You're just late to the realization. You are not haunted by the past, you hunted it down and made it submit. You dragged your demons into the light, looked them in the eye, and made them work for you. That's the difference. You didn't escape darkness, you made it your home. You adapted. Where others collapsed, you strategized. Where others begged for the pain to stop, you told it to speak louder. Because somewhere along the way you stopped waiting to be saved and decided to be the last one standing. Now everything they throw at you just fuels the legend. The more they try to break you, the clearer your message becomes. You can't break what broke itself and chose to rebuild without mercy. You're not just alive, you're unchained. No mask, no apology, just power. Pure, surgical, silent power. And when they finally look in your eyes and see that nothing left in this world scares you anymore, that's when they realize. The beast didn't survive. It ascended. Like, comment, and subscribe.